Okay, so I sent the milestone 5 deliverable folder in the Slack channel. Inside the folder, we have the deliverable document, which lists down everything that we covered in the fifth milestone. So I'll walk you through all of it. I'll share my screen so we can get started. As I said, we did a redo of this screen. Formerly, there was just a very small pop-up. Now we have a new UI. It asks if you want to play as a governor or as a dealer. I will start as a dealer. So while playing as a dealer, some things which I explained last time, but I'll explain them very quickly again. The 5 icons that you see, uh, these represent the blocks in which I have DOZs. If I want to perform any functions, I can do that. So as I mentioned, one major feature which we did was related to the waypoints, which basically draws a path between two blocks. I will start with that. First of all, I need to start buying some raw materials. This is the buy raw material loop, which we have explained in detail previously as well. Now I'm choosing to buy cannabis, 6 of them. For 6, I need to send at least one dope. I can send more than one, but I'm sending one for now. Now the data has been fetched from the server about the blocks. You can see that whichever block I choose, it's going to draw a whole path. So for example, this is my DOZ, this one. So it's going to draw a path. It shows you what's the cost of dealing in this block, and it also shows you how much time it's going to take. So this time is going to be in minutes or hours, but for the purpose of the demo, we have reduced it to less than like 2 minutes so that everything happens really quickly. So for example, now I'm going to choose to to buy raw materials from this block. Now it's calculating the path. Just to make sure that the path is correct and the timing information, everything is relevant. Now the MetaMask wallet opens and I have to do this transaction.
Okay, so great. So actually what can happen is if you have multiple dopies, if one transaction is taking 25 minutes, you send off another dopey somewhere else to do another transaction in the game. Is that right?
Yeah, I will do that right now. So the first dope is on his way. I'm sending the second one to buy a different raw material.
Hydrochloride.
Yeah, there's going to be a different dope. The first one is busy. Once again, for example, this time I choose this block.
I'm kind of grinning because I can see the game starting to come together.
Yeah, good to know. So you can see 2 deals in progress. For buy raw materials, we are using a color code of.
Okay, Jody, can you come off mute and just what do you think about that so far?
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you can see that. It makes the game more how do you say it? More easily to identify in reality, like there's an actual.
Sorry to interrupt, Jody, but I just got intercepted, so I just want to show it before the timer runs out. So when you get intercepted, you can bribe the cops. You can select how much amount you want to use for the bribe, and depending upon the amount, there's an algorithm that runs in the background, and it calculates whether you were able to successfully bribe the cop or did the bribe fail.
Can I add a little bit of extra? You should put recommended amount in there, so it should say get like a minimum amount, maximum amount, recommended amount. 100% sure you're going to pass this, or it's never 100% sure, but like there's a 99% approval rate if you pay this much DDZ, and there's a 10% chance if you pay that, or something, some indicator to give an idea of how much someone should pay. That would be good.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll add that.
This is what I'm concerned about here. Every time that happens, that's a transaction on MetaMask, right? And if the transactions are going to be costing 20 to 30 cents each time, it's already on the edge of not being acceptable, isn't it? That's an issue that we need to really think about, Serkan, whether we want to, if we're going on to ETH, is that going to work? And if we are going to go on ETH, do we need to build like a lightning network within the game? BSC being much more centralized is much quicker, much cheaper, certainly at the moment, because it's only 1 or 2 cents a transaction. And that's kind of the idea of Binance Smart Chain, isn't it? But I think, like I said, it still uses EVM, so we can move to ETH if we want before we launch this game. So I think we have a couple more weeks before we can make that final decision. Everyone agrees, Sherry, that the NFTs and the branding of the game is better if it's on ETH, but we don't want to be unplayable.
Okay, so the next thing is the sell drugs. So I'm showing this just because the colors are different when the waypoints are drawn. So if at any time you have a bunch of deals, you have one deal for buy raw materials, a couple for sell drugs, and a couple for attack DOZ, all of them will be represented with different colors on the map, just so there is no confusion. You will also add a legend which explains what each color represents. For example, last time the waypoint was yellow, this time it's green. So when you start it, so now MetaMask opens, I confirm the transaction, and the deal begins. So it's telling me that dopes are on their way to buy to sell 2 grass to this block. The deal is in progress. So it got intercepted again. I can also evade if I want to. So the evade was successful. Sometimes you'll get caught, sometimes you won't get caught. I can also start an attack. To start an attack, first I need to select which block I want to attack. I can always open up the block view and see that block. So for example, I want to attack a DOZ in this block. So for the attack, you can see the waypoint is red in color. So there are 7 DOZs in each block. I can select which DOZ I want to attack. I select this DOZ. So now this has started again. Now the attack is in progress. So you can imagine that once I have, right now we have limited the time to about 2 minutes for each deal, but when each deal is taking minutes, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, or more than 1 hour, you will be able to see a lot of waypoints on the map. So there will be a lot of activity on the map, which will give the user a feeling of some dynamic things happening on the map. So to go with this, some polished stuff that we added. Now you can see that this is a list of the dopes that I own. The ones with the green dots are the ones that are available. These are the ones that are busy attacking at the moment. So whenever a dope is performing some function, you can open up the details and you will see the status is set to busy. So a busy dope won't be able to do any other function until the first function is complete.
Where does it say busy?
Right here. So the status, okay, yeah, it says busy. I do understand your point. There are 2 things which I want to mention. We are in the next milestones, we are doing 2 things. One is the dealer's handbook. So basically the dealer's handbook is like a game manual for everyone, which will explain what raw materials you need to create what drugs, and it will explain a lot of other stuff too. So that's like a manual for all of the players. And apart from that, the second thing which we will do is going to we'll add a whole tutorial which will walk the user through. It's a first time user experience. So when the user is playing the game for the first time, we will walk him through all of the UI.
Yeah, I know the tutorials. Okay.
Yeah. So those 2 things, I feel that once they are in place, it will all become much more descriptive. So another thing which we did was we added the mail. So you saw that I sent some dopes to buy drugs, some to sell drugs, and some of them got intercepted. So whenever something happens like that, you get a mail, because there's a possibility that there will be a lot of events going on at any given time. So it might be hard to keep track. There's also this possibility that while you were offline, there was maybe some attack on your DOZ, or maybe you started a deal and then went offline. So we want the record to be kept. The record is saved on the server, and you get mails for everything. So once you log back in, you will see a detail of everything that happened in your absence. For example, I sent one attack right now. It shows me the result that I won the attack. The attack is completed now. So the first thing that we did was the waypoints part. Then we added the mail part. Then for the DOZ, there's something that I want to show. So for the DOZ, you can see that this is a very basic animation which we have for dopes coming or walking towards each other and exchanging goods. Most of the animations are going to go in the DOZ. We have the artwork ready, which has been shared with Jenny. So the artwork was a part of this milestone, and the integration into the game, it's going to happen in the next milestone. One other thing which we did was in the last build, we had just one type of production room. You can see there are 2 production rooms in my DOZ at the moment. I can even add a different type of production room, because we have 7 production rooms now, and each production room has a different type of drug which it can create. So we are starting to come full circle now with all of the stuff that can be done. Now if I choose a production room, these are the 7 production rooms that I can create.
Let's get some MATLAB.
Yeah, I might not have the required raw materials at the moment. That can get time, but yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff that I can still add. Okay, so that's a MATLAB. This is a different one. For example, in this lab, I can create Lucy, I can create Special K, I can create Fantasia. I can even, let's start creating this. So to
Have
create
you
Lucy,
got the easy toggle between the real names and the under 18 names?
yeah, that's a part of the setting screen which is being made right now.
Okay.
So there will be a setting screen. There will just be a toggle in which you ask the people, you ask the user to select if he wants to view mature content or not. So it's just like a yes/no toggle. So yeah, I can select how many of these drugs I want to create. I am creating 4 of these. So I can assign a dope to it to speed up the creation and to increase the purity. So once dope is assigned again, I have to sign with MetaMask. So now the deal is in progress. It's going to take about 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, I will have some Lucy to sell to people. So yeah, so we added more rooms to the DOZ. Right here, you can see on the left side, it shows me how much drugs I already have. I have 2 grass, I have 8 Lucy, how much raw materials I have. These are the raw materials. I did a bunch of deals before you guys, so I was basically buying all of these. I bought hydrochloride, cannabis. Now all of the data is being saved on the server, and it's coming from the server, so it's all being saved the right way now.
And what I like about the game is that I think the idea of the game for players is to find the bits they can take advantage of. You know?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I started the production of 4 Lucy. Now I have a mail in my ongoing events which says that. Now the other function the other feature which we did was the chat system. For now, you can see there's global chat. If anyone of you is online, he could drop a message and it will land in the global chat.
This avatar, how is that set? Is that a custom set avatar? When people log in, they can change their avatar and they can choose one of their dopies as the avatar or something?
Yeah, that's right. That's a part of the setting screen which I told you about, which we are working on. Over there will be a fixed amount of avatars, and he can choose any of those avatars. So there are 2 ways to do this. The last time, I think in a weekly meeting, we discussed that you could either choose out of a given list of avatars, or you can choose out of the list of dopes that you have. So we can have the avatar of any of the dopes that I own. So there are 2 ways to do this. Both are simple enough. So eventually you will see the avatar related to that person. So I sent this message. I think this is Shariar by the sound of it. Yeah. So in global chat, Nida, you could even drop a message with your name just to show that everyone is online and it's working fine. This is the friend chat. This is the global chat. So if anyone else is online, he could also drop a message, and you will be able to see all of those messages. So in global chat, you see the whole list, and if you want to add any person, you can click on the avatar which takes you to the profile. So now Shariar has sent me a friend request. When I go to the request, I can see it. So right now it's showing me the wallet address of Shariar, but eventually this will be a display name that Shariar can choose. He can choose whatever name he wants to add. I got 2 friend requests. I think one is from Shariar and the other one is from Nida. Nida, you can even cancel your request just to show that everything is happening in real time. So once Nida cancels the request, it won't show up anymore. So Nida just canceled the request, so it's not showing up over here anymore. And Shariar just added me, so now this is the friend chat. So Sherry, if you go to the friend chat tab, you will be seeing this message.
Do you get in-game notifications, or like, for instance, if you're browsing somewhere else, would you have to go into the social area to see the messages?
Yeah, for now we have to go into the social tab, but our plan is to have a red marker which will show if there is a message in the global chat or the friends chat. So we'll add that marker. So yeah, this is the friends chat at the moment. Now that Shariar is added as friend, I can also remove him as a friend if I want to.
Don't do that, man.
Okay. I could block you too, but okay, I'm not blocking you just now. I could also report Shariar to the admin. So the report email will go to the admin panel.
It'd be good to see. By the way, all these edits and updates that I suggest, I'd just like you guys to write down in the back. I'm not necessarily asking you to do it now, because I want, obviously, as you said, get to that production level first. But it'd be good to see the statistics of that particular person, how many deals they've done, what their trade is, what their balances are, what their current team is, or something like this.
Okay. Yeah, so we for now we decided to add the DOZ's owned, and so there are fields that we can add, and Nida is making notes, so we will note all of this down. And So yeah, now that we have done this, Shahryar, I'll add you back after a while. So now I've removed Shahryar from my friend list. I can add him again if I want to. Yeah, so this is how the chat is working. Um, I would suggest that you guys, some people from your team, I think it's a good time to start testing more thoroughly, because I'm sure there might be some stuff that you guys will you might have some suggestions, some polishes. We have all been looking at it from one angle at the moment, and it would really help if someone from your team also tests the build and give some suggestions about it. So there's also a block list. It will show any people that I've blocked. At the moment I haven't blocked anyone. If I have sent any friend requests, they will also show over here. Yeah, so that's about it for what we've covered in this milestone. A bunch of polishing stuff, the waypoints, the friend and chat system, the mail system, and we added some additional stuff to the DOZs. For the next milestone, we'll be adding some more animations and a lot more polished stuff to make the build look better. Yeah, one more thing that we're going to add on the map is going to be real life live events. So for example, if there is heat in one block, we will have an icon glowing on that block to signify that this block is possibly under raid. So when all of that stuff comes together, the map is going to look a lot more dynamic than it already is.
Some very big updates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can really start to see the game come together, which is great.
DopeWarz, deal to earn.